Hey guys, it's Tracy from the Lit Factor. I am just sharing us out to our friends. So I like to log on a few minutes early so that I have the chance to do that. So just hang on a second and I'm gonna take care of that. Thank you for joining me. We're sharing to Mama Loves Food. And then we're going to share to our friends at Spaceships and Laser Beams. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Hey guys, how are you? I'm so glad that you're with me, just sharing out our stuff to our awesome friends. And here we go. All right, cool. So, hi, how are you? Welcome to TGIM and our hour together here Monday at noon. I am Tracy Litt Lester. I am a life coach. I'm the founder of the Lit Factor. I am a speaker and I help people live the extraordinary lives that we are all capable of living. Sometimes that means getting what you want. Sometimes that means figuring out what you want. Sometimes it's tangible, like a specific dream, a business, a goal, an achievement. It can be physical. Sometimes it's intangible and it's achieving more joy, or it's enhanced relationships, or it's lowering your overwhelm or stress. So in my work, I serve you, and I love doing this hour because it's really all about you and we do it very casually. So I will do live coaching if something's going on for you and you have an instance or a circumstance and you'd love some support with it or some new perspective. Type in, I can see you. Hey guys, I can see you joining me. And what we do is I go back in time to questions and things from past shows that I wasn't able to get to or answer. And then I also teach a little bit based on whatever I feel has come up for me that I want to talk about and teach. So it's casual, join me, be with me. I'm thrilled to have you and thank you. So the first thing that I want to talk about, is what is this whole TGIM thing? And I like to address it because it's really, it's really all about mindset. And I will tell you that I used to suffer from the Sunday night blues, right? So if you're listening and you're with me and you have that feeling, Sunday, it's like, Friday's amazing. Saturday's the best day ever because it's Saturday, and because of our mindsets, it feels like the longest day. And then Sunday hits, and Sunday night, you start to get that Sunday night, thank you, April, that Sunday night depression and that Sunday night like, ugh, tomorrow's Monday. And it's all about your mindset. So as soon as I made the choice to create TGIM as the overall theme of our Monday lives together, my brain started to shift. My energy level around, hey Cindy, my energy level around Mondays and Sunday nights have completely changed. And I'm telling you, I used to be like outwardly, negative and like, oh, it's Sunday night. And now it's like, oh, tomorrow's Monday. What do I get to do? What do I get to create, right? It's kind of like having a New Year's Eve every Monday, right? It's like a new slate. It's a new opportunity for you to look at it in a way where you can create and really move into empowerment instead of feeling a low level of energy and a blaseness about the fact that it's Monday morning, right? So all that was a mindset shift. That's it. April is saying less now that I work for myself, but I still find myself falling into the trap, right? And I get that, right? So my question would be, what thoughts are you inputting into your mind about and allowing yourself to choose about Monday, right? What can you do to engage yourself on the Monday, right? And shift your mindset, because as soon as you change your main belief about something, everything else follows, right? Because if you believe that Mondays are energetic and promote creation in your life, then your thoughts are going to align with that, and you're going to have positive, engaged feelings, and you're going to want to take action. So I really just want to address the TGIM, like, yes, to live your life consciously waiting for Friday, to hold on tight to the 2 days that society tells you are the 2 days that are going to be your best days, and then to be all down and out on Sunday night for Monday just seems so silly and wasteful, because it's our entire lives that we have, right? So why can't Wednesday night be the night that you go out for dinner with your girlfriends, right? Or go meet up with the guys at a bar for a beer, or do something in the middle of the week, right? Like Wednesday can be the new Saturday. It's all about the choices you make. Good morning. It's all about the choices you make and the approach that you choose and the thoughts that you allow in, because your mindset is what makes the difference in everything in your life. You can work all day, you can blood, sweat, and tears it on everything outside of yourself, but until you start to focus on what's happening in the programming in here, it's always going to feel like you're pushing a huge ball up a really, really steep hill, right? And the way to make it feel like that ball is now being pushed up a hill that kind of is level or just has a little incline is to change your mindset and to empower yourself from the inside out. All right, so that's the first thing. All right, so let's see. Labor says, I'm so bad about focusing on all the stuff I can't get done rather than what I do accomplish. I love that you just said that. Thank you for that. Okay, so that brings us right into a major theme of what we talk about a lot and teachings, which is what you focus on and put your attention on is what actually grows. Right? So if you're sitting there and you are putting your attention on everything that you can't get done, you're going to create more of that, paralysis that goes on and not being able to push it forward, right? But if you stop and give yourself a moment and kind of reflect on, look at all the shit I did. Look at what I've accomplished. And you engage into that energy, right? Because April, I'm venturing to guess that when you start to align yourself with what you have done, your juices flow a little bit. You get that sense of feeling good and your confidence increases. And then you're like, oh yeah, and I can do that too. And it puts you in a place of engaged forward moving energy versus focusing on everything you have to do and oh my God, what's in front of you, which just creates the inability to really move forward. Michelle, thank you. Sometimes just hearing the words makes it so much clearer. Thank you. That is totally why I'm here. I'm glad that you shared that. Some things we know and some things we don't know. But the cool thing about our time together is, once you know something or you learn something, you can't unknow it. So that's really, really empowering. For those of you just joining us, I'm Tracy Litt-Lester. I am a life coach and a speaker, founder of The Lit Factor, and our time together is super casual. I am here to serve you. If you have any instances going on in life, career, relationships, parenting, personal, whatever it is, I'm here to help you. We go back in time. I answer some questions that I didn't get to last week. Sometimes I just teach stuff that I feel like teaching, but I'm here for you, so let me know what's going on and if you're having any ahas. April's continuing to share, yes, I feel suffocated by the stuff I have to do, which 99 problems, 98 aren't. Exactly. It's all in your head, ultimately, right? So what can you do to look at your list and go, okay, of things you have to do, what do you do to create that into a want to? Right? I choose to. I know once I finish this, this, and this, I will be able to then do this, or I will feel a certain way because I've accomplished it. When we approach tasks or things, responsibilities from a state of have to, it feels like this. Like I have to. And right away, because you're using the word have to, you're playing with your brain in a way where you're making it more resistant. Now, if you move to want to, it's like, I want to. Do you see the difference? I know I'm like a tiny little screen right now, but have to is like, and it's really, really more challenging to get into an engaged, excited place versus I want to. What can I do? How can I get that done? So maybe if you get in touch with why would you want to, and of the shit that you think you have to do, what's really important versus the stuff that just creates the list to be a longer list, and there may be not as many things that you need to prioritize that are priority within that list. So, hi everybody. So we're going to keep going right into something that came up. This is exactly the message I needed to hear today. I'm so glad, Lauren. So here's the first thing second thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about our states, okay? Meaning your state, your physical, energetic state. And I was having at the end of last week, I was really kind of like in that blase blah, right? Just because I teach this and I coach people does not make me immune or invincible to being part of the human experience. And at the end of the week, last week, I was feeling really just blah. and it wasn't hormonal, and I couldn't back it up into a certain specific cause. It was just the way I was feeling. So what I want to share with you is the best way to get ourselves, if we know it's not emotional in terms of I can figure it out and I need to delve into this or dig here, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to help yourself change your state. And the way to change your state, which is what I was working on for myself, which allowed me to kind of move through the blahness and get my energy back, is a few things. Go outside, get into nature, right? Physically shift your state. Like, I would stand up. I did this before our call today. I do this. I welcome you all to do this. Put your hands up in the air and just go like, I'm awesome. Okay? It's okay if you're like, who is this lady? What is she doing? But really, put your hands up in the air. Just hands, twinkle fingers. I'm awesome. Okay? Whatever it is, it's okay. Be a kid. Stop caring about what you think of yourself or what everybody else is going to think of you, right? Kind of get into that space. Infuse some fun. That also changed the state dramatically that I was in. Like, okay, I loved myself. I took myself less seriously. I just kind of rolled into how I was feeling, right? Because the other thing, when you are feeling stuck or you are feeling blah, please stop shaming yourself. Stop saying things to yourself, whether it's just inside or outside out loud, like, ugh, why can't I get out of this? I'm so stupid. Ugh, I'm so lazy. I can't believe I feel this way. What's wrong with me? Okay, we do this, but it is the opposite of what we need to be doing for ourselves for empowerment and to really, really love ourselves. You cannot shame yourself into motivation. We might have been raised that way. Societally, we might be surrounded by that, but we have an opportunity to change, right? Everything that I believe in and everything that I teach and put forward is about completely doing things differently. New thoughts, new belief system, reprogramming yourself so that you can be experiencing a different reality, right? So the next time you feel blah or you feel like your energy level is low, become silly, become fun, become engaged, and love yourself. Be gentle. Say it's okay if you feel like this. You know what? If you want to just like go do nothing for the rest of the day, go do that. Because that's going to heal you a lot faster and get you back to the level of engagement a lot faster than you just being rude to yourself and talking yourself down. Because that is never going to motivate anyone, right? And if all else fails, I always say to myself, what would I say to my best friend, right? And do that for yourself. Because you wouldn't shame your best friend. You wouldn't be like, you're so lazy. I can't believe you're not getting off your ass. What's wrong with you? You would never do that. So stop doing that to yourself, because your ability to nurture and love yourself is your superpower and will be the power source for all the other things you want to achieve in your life. Okay? All right. So I'm going to go into some comments here because I love to engage with everybody who's hanging out with me. Okay, great topic for back in the day when I was strong in the workforce. There are no days that differ from my situation. Each day is stereotyped and systematic, plus a fear factor of what's going to happen from minute to minute. Okay, so Cindy, if every day is systematic, what can you do differently to make it less systematic? What can you do? Can you throw in something for yourself? A walk, a new challenge, a new hobby, a book? Putting your hands up in the air going, I am awesome. What do you want to do? Because there is a lot of stuff we do with our mindsets, and then there is the art of doing something. You have to do something different, right? Nothing changes if nothing changes. We can't just sit and observe our situations and if it's not serving us, which is what you're telling me, this isn't fulfilling you, what's going to change? Okay? Because another thing that I talk about all the time, and whether you're listening and you're thinking about your career or your love life or your parenting or a friendship or yourself or exercise or whatever tons of things that we all go through as being human beings, the only person that is going to come and save you is yourself. So we can stop blaming and making excuses and looking outside of ourselves for some magic pill or some answer, right? So what can you do? And I say this lovingly, right? I know I speak directly and assertively, but that's because I want you to hear it. But I love you and everyone, and I truly got into this line of work because I know that every single one of us has so much more potential in various facets of our life than we are willing to do the work to tap into, right? So that's what I want to say, Cindy. All right. Manje says, excuse me, I just got out of a relationship of 7 years and I don't feel like being around or his family and have kids together. So I'm thinking about moving to different states. Manje, I'd love a little bit more clarification because I'm not sure I totally get what you're saying. So you got out of this relationship and you don't want to be around his family, but you have kids together. And you're thinking about physically moving to different states. Are you divorced? Are you separated? I have so many questions. And another one is, escaping isn't going to heal you. Okay, now I'm going out on a limb here because I have very limited information, but I just feel like I need to say this. Escaping is not going to heal anything. There is some work to do. There is some forgiveness work to do of yourself, of the situation, of him, of anything that happened around you. There is some love of yourself work to do, right? But moving isn't going to serve you, and it's not going to serve your kids, just based on the little paragraph you sent me. Again, please elaborate, but I wanted to give you that, and then we can keep going. But I'd love some more detail because then I can help you more specifically. All right? Okay, so I want to go into a question that was asked, it was actually 2 weeks ago that I didn't get to on last week's show. I have moved 3 times in 4 years. I can't seem to find a place that feels like home for me. I'm unsettled and I'm procrastinating on everything. Everywhere I go, I'm faced with the same issues. I don't know what to do next. Can you please help? Okay. I love this question, okay? I love this question, and it feeds so nicely into what we were just talking about. I want to tell you guys a story, okay? Here's a story about an old man that lived in a field, okay? Visualize this field, and the field is in between 2 different cities. But in order to get from one city to the next city, you must cross through the field, and you must pass this very, very wise old man who lives in the field. So the first gentleman is moving from the first city to the second city, and he's trekking and trekking and trekking, and he's walking, and he passes the old man in the field, and he sits down for a glass of water, and he says, the old man says, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm moving to the next city." And the old man said, "That's great." And the man said, "What do you think of the people in the next city? How do you think I'll find the people to be in the next city?" And the old man said, "Well, how was it in the city you're coming from?" And he said, "Oh, it was great. People were super friendly and super accommodating, and it was a really nice place to live. I enjoyed it." And the old man said, "Well, then the people you find in the next city shall be the same." And off the man goes. Then a few hours later, another man comes by, and he's walking and he's trekking, and he goes through the field, and he stops for a glass of water. And the old man says, "Oh, are you moving to the next city?" And the guy says, "I sure am. How do you think I'm going to experience and find the people in the next city?" And the old man says, "Well, how was it in the city where you're coming from?" And the guy said, "Everybody was rude, nobody opened doors, everybody was just concerned for themselves. It really sucked." And the old man said, "Well, then you'll find it the same in the next city." Okay? What is the point of that beautiful old tale that I'm telling you? It's on you. It's not about the states you move to. It's about the filter and the way that you see the world. Because you will ultimately find what it is you are looking for, and your outside is always a reflection of your inside. So if every single state you've moved to respond to this particular person, 3 moves in 4 years, what are you looking for? What are you not getting? You cannot run from yourself, right? So stay where you are, right? Stay where you are and start to do the work for yourself, because everything we've experienced in life up until now creates the filter and the way in which we see the world. It is literally like you are putting on a pair of glasses And these glasses can only see the world through the prescription that's in those glasses. So if your prescription is impatience and aggravation and frustration and not understanding and negativity and always finding the problem and criticizing and excuses and complaints, ta-da! That's what you will find in your reality. Now, when you do all of the work that we talk about, right? When you're shifting your actual mindset and changing the way you see the world, you can put on a new pair of glasses that instead of judgment sees curiosity, right? Sees openness, is patient, right? Doesn't live by comparison, to each their own. It's a whole different way to see the world. So whatever is happening is a reflection of what's going on inside. Always, 100% of the time. Okay, so that's my response to this lovely person. Don't move again. And what can you do in yourself inside, personal development wise, to start moving forward and start figuring out what's really, really going on? Because guys, it's never about the external. It's never about a bigger house or a new pair of shoes or a different job in a different corporation, notwithstanding certain circumstances, or more of this or moving here. It's not about that. It's about what's happening inside of you. It is about your mindset. It is about your thoughts. It's about the beliefs that you're holding on to that no longer serve you, and finding new beliefs and really, really rewiring yourself so that it doesn't matter what's happening outside of you, right? Because once you have it going on the inside and you understand yourself and how to ultimately be in a state of fulfillment and abundance and gratitude, then everything else falls into place, because that's how the universe works. Energetically, from a straight up frequency standpoint, because we are all matter, we are all energy, right? That is what we are. And that is how the universe works, is by energy and how we attract energy. So if you're functioning in a space where there's a lot of negativity and resentment, and you haven't practiced forgiveness, and you're angry, you're having a lot of resistance, and you're like down here. Versus if you're lifting yourself up and you're practicing happiness and gratitude and a different mindset, you're going to attract that into your life the same way. Okay? All right. So welcome for anybody who just joined us. I'm Tracy Litt-Lester, founder of The Lit Factor, a life coach and a speaker, and we're hanging out today talking about all kinds of different stuff. And I love when you guys engage and ask questions, because then I can directly help you out. So let's see. Rita says, what do you do when you're working on self-care, self-love, and trying to be optimistic, but someone very close to you is severely depressed? It's a super valid question. Okay, so, well, number one, it's very important for you to be able to put boundaries, okay? Boundaries are critical, because you want to be able to hold a space for that person and love them, but you want to put boundaries on so that you are not dripping yourself in what somebody else close to you is experiencing, okay? Because the people that you surround yourself with do affect you. It affects you energetically, it affects your mind, it affects everything, right? So if this person that's very close to you, I would say, what can you do to help them practice what you're practicing? Right? Instead of looking at it again. So here we go, back into story and the way we're looking at things. We can stop and look at it from the standpoint of, what do I do? They're really depressed and they're kind of sucking me into their depression. Or, swap it. Can you, Rita, influence them to start lifting them out of that depression and working together on self-care and self-love? And optimism is great, but we're not talking about the power of positive thinking. That's a wonderful tool, but that's not the thing. Right? It's really about the choices that you make and the self-care and the self-love and the thoughts that you're allowing in, right? And if they're severely depressed, then it's related to the past, because depression is a reflection of holding on to the past, right? Anxiety is a reflection of worry and nerves towards the future or something that hasn't happened yet. Depression is feeling badly and ruminating or holding on to something that already happened. So I would say that you engaging them from your standpoint would be super beneficial for them. All right, Rita, if there's anything else, please let me know. But I would turn that around and be empowered. You're working on yourself, bring them along for the ride, because you, just like they are affecting you, you can be affecting them in a really, really positive way. Christina says, is there a technique you can do as a type of reset to your mind, like a stop button to get you to, like a stop button to get you to think, get a grip and stop thinking this way. I think it's a great point that we need to stop shaming ourselves, but we need to recognize, which is constant work, is there something we can do? Okay. All right. Well, yes. Two things right off the bat. Christina, do you believe that you are 100% responsible for where you are in your life right now? Okay? Because in order to do any resets, to make any life adjustments or shift in any way before even awareness sets in, you have to be willing to say, yep, it's all me. I have the power to do something, to not do something. It is my beliefs and my thoughts and my feelings and my actions that create exactly where I sit, right? And yes, it's not even to say we can control every circumstance, but you absolutely can control your response to the circumstance, and that also creates your life. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yes, you believe that you are responsible for where you are. So that's step one. Step two is awareness, right? Awareness in when you're doing those things. So is it the moments that you're shaming yourself, right? Is it, what else is happening at that moment that you want to go, I really, really, really wish I had a different, more empowering thought. Okay, because if you're practicing awareness, then you're starting to move into, okay, I really, really want to change this. So I would start to notice, what are your triggers? What happens, right? Where do you feel it in your body when something isn't the right kind of serving thought to you, right? How do you know you're having a moment where the thought needs to change, okay? Now, I'm going to give you a tool, but what I want you to do is I want you to pick the replacement thought first, okay? Because if we don't have something to refocus into, then we get kind of caught up in the how, and it gets really, really difficult. So if I'm just reading your thing again, so let's just say it's in shaming. So if you normally would be like, oh, you're such an idiot, why'd you do it that way in your mind, right? And what you want, your new thought is, you're capable of doing anything the way that you want to do it, right? Then what I would do is this. You hit that moment of awareness, and you have that trigger, and you have that feeling, you're like, oh yeah, no, that doesn't feel good, that doesn't sound good. And I want you to visualize yourself on the top of a ski slope, okay? And here's the thing about our thoughts, all right? And this is why you actually can reset and retrain your brain, and it's super exciting, all right? So here's what happens. When we have a thought or a go-to default, every time we go there, I want you to visualize it like a ski track, right? You know how in the snow and the ski track can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, right? So it's our default. We know it so well. It's like, whoop, automatic. We're already down the hill. There we are on the top of our hill with our skis like this, getting ready. And something happens and boom, whoop, you're right down that old way of being that is not serving you at all, right? So what I want you to do in that awareness is stop for a moment and visualize yourself on the top of the ski hill. I can't ski, and I've done this 1,000 times, so you don't even really have to have ever been in this instance. So you're sitting with your skis, and the trigger happens, whether it's an external trigger or something that goes on within you, and you know that you're about to do it the way that you default in doing it, but you know that that's what you're trying to get out of, right? You want to retrain your brain. Here's the beauty of our brains. If you decide at the top of that ski hill to not go down that default track, but you stop and turn a little to the other side, and you allow yourself to go down a new track, right? With that new thought, no, not I'm such an idiot, I can't believe I didn't do that. I'm totally capable of anything I want to do, right? I love myself, and I'm gentle with myself. Whatever, you have to pick it because it has to be emotional for you, right? Then you choose the new thought. And here's what happens. Every single time you choose the new track, you're creating a stronger neural pathway. Neuroplasticity is what happens when we actually create new connected thoughts in our brain, right? So you're strengthening that new way of thinking. And every time you don't go down the default way of thinking, it starts to prune away. Because when that default thought gets no action, it literally starts to disappear. Now, this is over time, of course, but that is actually how it works. So stop, be aware, take ownership, awareness, and when you find that trigger or that moment, love yourself and go towards your new thought. And every time you practice that new track and deepen that, the other track gets filled more with snow and disappears, and then you never see it again. So I hope that that tool was helpful. It's a visualization, which is incredibly helpful. So please chime in and let me know if there's more to that you want to know. All right, so let's see where we are. Welcome everyone who's just joining us. I'm Tracy Litt-Lester. I am a life coach, a speaker, and the founder of the Lit Factor, and I am here to help you out in whatever's going on in life. So I am going to go back in time to something else that was asked last week. And hold on, I'm checking time. All right, 12:30. So, I have 2 kids. I run a small business from home. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Super busy, and I'm getting nothing done. I'm at my wit's end. Help me, please. Okay, I love this one. We had something similar a couple weeks ago. And here is the thing. Okay, number one, it's totally valid. You know, if you're raising kids and you're working from home and everything kind of smushes together because there's no distinction, right? It's like working from home is amazing and working from home is challenging because you don't get to stop and go to your office, right? And just disconnect from everything, which means you have to even be more conscious and have more awareness and planning in what you want your day to be like, okay? So I have a 2-pronged approach when it comes to this lovely question, okay, working from home, running around like a chicken with your head cut off, getting nothing done. 2 things. Number 1, and we've talked about this before, please stop multitasking. Whoever's listening right now, whether or not this question resonates with you, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what your career is, please stop multitasking. Multitasking is bullshit. Multitasking is something that serves no one. I personally believe that multitasking was brought up in the world, you know, because we are a very aggressive capitalist society. Go, 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 work, 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 accomplish, 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 get it done, get it done, get it done, faster, faster, faster. So we started to take on this multitasking concept as something that was like a strength, right? Like, oh, they can multitask? They must be really good at what they do. But the thing about multitasking is that you touch so many things within a short period of time that you actually touch and complete nothing, right? Does this make sense? Tell me if this is resonating with you, all right? And I get it. It's a mindset shift. Once again, it's a mindset shift in going, my value and worthiness is not based in how much I get done, right? I get to be valuable and worthy just because I woke up, and now I get to decide what is important to me today. What do I want to prioritize in my day? How do I want to plan, which is the second part of this answer? Organize your day. If you can take, and I am saying this for myself just as much as I'm saying it for you because I'm in the midst of this right now, take 15 minutes, either Sunday night or Monday morning, right? And then every morning thereafter during the week, and figure out on my big list, these are the things that matter to me today. Right? Prioritize, because if you're looking at all of it and you're running around with no order and you're living in a mindset where it's cool to touch everything, a little bit here, a little bit there, you will eventually get to the end of the day, plop down on the couch and feel like you accomplished nothing. Okay? This is a very, very real epidemic right now. So I'm giving you the permission to never multitask again, and to start prioritizing so that you can really, really feel accomplished, and prioritize the time with your kids. Because if you work from home and have young children, right? Or you work from home, like in my case, I work from home, I have middle school age children, then they get home and it's like, whoa, everything shifts on its axis because the energy of the house is different and I'm not in my own space. So plan for that, right? So if you're going to decide your work day is this time to this time, and then your children are home, you want to be present with them too. They shouldn't fall prey to your multitasking belief system, right? So that you're never really paying attention to them and you're half-assing everything. It's part of the lack of fulfillment. It's part of this whole shit we're all doing. Go, 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 do, more, and feeling no sense of fulfillment whatsoever. Okay, so just stop, because being a good multitasker, number one, I think is actually like a unicorn. And number two, only drains you and doesn't allow you to actually focus or be present in any of the things that are in your multitasking path. Okay, so that's my answer to that question. Let me scroll through and see what's happening here. All right, Lisa says, having a hard time getting my husband and kids to hear me say I need help. with household stuff. He works as a mechanic and landscaping, and I am a childcare provider at my home. All right, Lisa, thank you for joining us and for sharing and for your openness. So I have a few questions. When you say you're having a hard time getting them to hear you, what is your way of communicating your needs to them? Okay, I would really, really love to know that. So I see that it's with household stuff, okay? And I'm just going to give you a few fun ideas, but what is happening? How are you communicating that out? Because sometimes we think we are being very direct, and what we learn is that we're really not. Like, we think we're asking for the way we want it and exactly how we want it and asking for the help, and sometimes we're not, okay? So I would really need more information to be able to help you specifically. So if you could chime in and give me like an example, we could dig in, which would be great. In terms of household stuff and your kids, I will give you two really cool ideas. One, make a work wheel, okay? Like, you know the old school, take a paper plate, take another paper plate, stick a, what is the thing called? It's not a safety pin. You stick it in and you flap it back and it like keeps it flush so that it could spin. I'm sorry, I cannot think of the word right now. And you make a wheel. So each kid's name and the tasks that they can manage in the house. And every week you spin it and they know that they're on that task for the week, right? They know that outside of coming home and doing homework, the next thing they do is contribute to the household, and there's no confusion and it's already organized. Because if you're not pre-organizing or deciding what tasks you'd like everyone to help out with, then it's extra work on you to stop and go, oh, can you do this? Can you do this? Which is extra stress, right? So come up with a system. Systems are awesome for life, okay? The second thing is Post-it notes. Get a cork board, write all the different tasks on Post-it notes. You can add a monetary value, 50 cents for this job, $1 for this job. It depends, you know, are you an allowance kind of household or you're not? I have no opinion or judgment. I'm just talking out loud, right? Or simply all the different tasks and everybody pick one Post-it note, kids, go do it, and then you know you've gotten it done, right? But if we spend a little bit of time on the front end organizing and creating little effective systems, then you get so much more out of it in the long run. All right, so I hope that was helpful given what I know. And please let me know if you have another example. And also make sure you're asking directly, because I'll tell you a little thing about asking directly for all of us who are listening. If I say to you, come over for lunch today, you bring lunch. Okay, great, can't wait, see you then. And you walk in my house and you put down 2 hamburgers. And I look at you and I go, what is that? And you go, oh, it's lunch. And I was like, yeah, but I meant salads. Right? Same thing, I can give you another analogy. I'm gonna bring flowers to the party, okay, great. And I walk in with roses and you look at me, you're like, what are these? I'm like, they're flowers. You're like, no, I wanted calla lilies. It is okay to ask specifically with clarity for what you want. And then there's like no room for confusion, all right? So I know that doesn't necessarily maybe apply specifically to what you were saying, but I like to share that because it is an area that we can all learn from. All right. Henrietta asks, how can I learn to just let things go? Well, Henrietta, it's a little bit broader than this, but what are you holding on to? How is it serving you to hold on to it? Is it about resentment? Is it about forgiveness? What is happening there, right? Because the fastest way to let things go is to, number one, do the work to release whatever you're holding on to, but also to ask yourself, how does it serve me to hold this? What is it costing me in my life to not let this go? How much of my energy every day is this stealing from other things I could be engaged on if I don't let this go? Right? Bring yourself into a space where you realize what holding on to it is costing you. And I will also tell you something else. Letting go takes a lot more strength than holding on. Okay? It's challenging, guys, right? We've been raised with all of these limiting beliefs and all of these ways of being and all of these societal and cultural pressures and all of these things. So be gentle with yourself and realize, okay, you know what? Letting go is not just going, I'm done with that, right? It's great intellectually to feel that way, but most things that we hold on to are not intellectual, they're emotional. So we have to give ourselves the love and the gentleness and the space to do some of the emotional work that goes on with that so that you can let that go. But the beginning of wanting to let it go is when you realize what it's costing you to hold on. All right? Okay. Let's see. A lot of validation over the multitasking comment, which is one of my favorite things to talk about, really, because it's just shocking to me how crazy we've all been for falling into this belief system that was given to us. Pick something and stick to it until it's done. Yep, that's right. That's correct. That's correct. Henrietta, Brad, I'm not sure what that means. Okay. Denise says brass. I would love that explanation or elaboration so I can help more. All right, so Rena says, you're welcome, Henrietta. Rena says, single mom of 2 coming on the stage of empty nest. How do you shift from being 100% kid busy to learning how to be you? I love you. Making decisions for my life just for me without feeling guilty or neglectful to them. This is so major, Rena. You are like standing in front of such an opportunity. Like Rena 2.0 is coming out to play, okay? So the first thing that I invite you to do is change the story, okay? Because our stories are our ways of keeping ourselves doing the same things, or our ways of not motivating ourselves in certain ways, and we don't even realize it, right? So you are, I'm gonna retell your story for you, Rena, okay? You are an unbelievably successful, powerful woman who has raised your child, let me see, 2 children, right? You have raised your children up into successful beings that are now going to go fly on their own. And all of that energy and all of that love that you dedicated to them for all of those years has paid off in such a beautiful way that it is their time to go fly into being who they are going to be. And that gives you opportunity to do and become whoever you want. Do you want to sleep in? Do you want to take up pottery? Do you want to learn how to play the piano? Do you want to start a new business? Do you want to go away for 10 days on the beach and read 3 books? Do you want to lay in bed for a week and binge watch all the shows that you never had time to? What do you want to do? Because you can do anything. And I get that what I'm saying to you is not like, okay, now it's done. But I want you to find that empowering story, right? And also, when you're saying making decisions for my life just for me without feeling guilty or neglectful, you have given everything. Has there been anything more that you can possibly give that you haven't given or sacrificed? I'm going to say no, because you're a single mother, and I know how that goes. It is your time. It is your time. And do you want to talk about what's going to really serve them? You don't need to feel guilt or neglect. You want to know why? Because when you step out into being Rena, they are going to be so freaking excited for you. They're going to be like, look at what my mother's doing. You are going to be showing them. We gloss over. We think that if we hold on to our kids and overdo for them and feel guilty when something doesn't happen, that in some really weird ass backwards way, that's serving them. It's not. It's going to serve them even more to watch you go be you. Be in love with yourself. Find that esteem. Find that confidence. That is what makes the difference in our children, everyone who's listening, at any age. Right? So go do that. Go be that. Change that story. And I offer 30-minute complimentary consultations to anyone who's interested in coaching, and I have some holiday offers. Rena, you are at a prime transitional spot in life to do some really great work. So if you want to have a 30-minute chat, it's on me. Go to thelitfactor.com or Facebook, message me at The Lit Factor so we can talk further. But change that story. This is not a sad, my empty nest, and oh my God, and what I'm going to do. This is, oh my God, what am I going to do? This is amazing. It's amazing. You are awesome. Right? Change that energy. Change it. All right. Let's see. Okay. Yes, the brass thing I was asking for my wheel. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's see. Denise. Let me see. 12:42. Okay. Sorry. I need a drink. My husband always tells not to multitask, just focus on one thing. and hard time focusing and being organized. That's my new goal. Folding laundry all the way through until it's done. And totally using Post-it notes. I'm so glad that that works for you. I love to share tools that are practical. Yeah, and you'll feel really great when you accomplish each task as you go. So thanks for sharing that. Let's see here. I feel like sometimes I neglect my kids because I try to be a mom, wife, and finish all my responsibilities at home. And at the end of the day, I feel like I basically did nothing because I'm all over the place. All right, so your previous post was, I believe, more recent than this. So, you know, stay focused in letting go of that multitasking and doing those things that you just said, and I think you'll feel the shift and you'll feel the change, which is huge. Welcome anybody who's just joining. I'm Tracy Litt Lester. I am a life coach, founder of the Lit Factor, a speaker, and I help people add levity to life, be contagiously happy, find what they want, all those great things. So if you have any questions or you're going through anything today, let me know. Adriana asked, hey, what are we talking about today? Well, we've been talking about people's specific questions, and we also did a little bit of talking about mindset, and we did a little bit of talking about multitasking. Everything will replay, but if you have something specific you want to dig into, let me know. Denny says, I'm a stay-at-home mom of a wonderful 2-year-old boy. I love it, but I feel ready to go back to work. I want to start a new career in elder care and Alzheimer's and dementia. That's awesome. Such great serving work. I don't know where to start my education. I feel guilty for leaving my son when I should enjoy the time I have with him. Okay. Denny, my first invitation, stop saying the word should forever. Okay, anybody who's hung out with me before knows I am a major crazy person about the word should. Should is shameful, it's guilt-ridden, and there is no should, there is choose to or choose not to, okay? So, the interesting thing too is that the guilt comes because you feel like you should. So, when it comes to you going back to work, how can that be a positive for your son, right? You going after your dreams, fulfilling yourself, right? We don't live for our children, right? I mean, don't we live to bring them up independently and capable with a strong sense of self because one day they go out there and they start their own lives, right? So how do you practice, and I'm asking this for you specifically, balancing yourself and your fulfillment and your stimulation, because that's only going to offer more of you to your child. When we sit in a space where we don't go after things or we don't go out because we feel guilty, then that only builds a lower sense of self and resentment in us, which then results in a different type of person being present with our kids. When you are still striving and you are still going after things in your own life, independent of your children, is when you really become an incredible force for them. Because it's all about what we do, all about what we do. How do we act in front of them, right? You want your child to stop having a yo-yo self-esteem? You stop having a yo-yo self-esteem, right? You want to teach your child what it is to go after your dreams? You can't just tell them that. Go do yours, right? So when you're talking about this right now, number one, Alzheimer's and dementia is such an incredible field, and kudos to you. So when you say you don't know where to start your education, definitely just Google and find out what's local in your area. There's a lot of different programs. You can go into therapy, you can go into nursing. So I would definitely just Google that and the different types of roles and empower yourself to go after what you want, okay? Because it's only going to benefit him. All right, so let's see. I hope this is okay. Anything's okay, Kelly. Anything's okay. Anything goes, guys. This time is for you. I hang out here to serve you because that's what I love to do. My husband had an affair for a month 14 months ago. Kelly, thank you for your vulnerability and your openness. How can I move on? We are still together. He said it was just sex and nothing more. How can I get her out of my head because I'm no longer a happy person? How can I find happiness in what we have today? All right, Kelly. Okay. What kind of work did you and your husband do to move through this is my first question. Because I believe that it could be important for you to do some of your own forgiveness work, but it would be important for the two of you to communicate and kind of reestablish the dynamic and kind of rebuild the trust. So what's going on there so that that can happen, okay? The other thing I want to know is, how likely is it that you're blaming yourself for the infidelity? Okay? This is a hard topic, and I get that. So I invite you to message me also so we can have our own 30-minute chat. But it's important to hear because, you know, the reason why I love when you guys share is because we're all part of this human experience, right? And we might not have the same exact situation, but it's going to resonate with somebody else, right? There's only so many patterns and so many human emotions that are actually felt. So a lot of times when someone shares, it really hits home for someone else. Hold on, I think Kelly just chimed in, so I just want to check out of respect for her. Completely blame myself. All right, Kelly, I love you, and that's the ticket, okay? That working through what it is that is allowing you to choose to blame yourself is what is keeping you from happiness. It is not your fault. His actions were a reflection of him and whatever he was going through, and it doesn't mean that there wasn't a partnership, and there's so much I don't know in the dynamic and where your relationship landed, because it always takes two to arrive at a certain space. But it is not for you to blame yourself that he made that choice, right? Because it is about you finding the happiness within you. Right? And what else do you need from him to be able to move forward and be okay? Which is why I want to also know, did you do any work together? But as long as you choose to continue to own this, it will be a weight that will keep you from your happiness. It's like a barrier. So what can you do to love yourself, right? And again, this is a much bigger scope thing. Right? You're saying, so how can I get out of my head because you're no longer a happy person, right? Blaming yourself, you're holding on to it. As long as you hold on to that blame, you are going to hold on to the pain of what's happening. Okay? So let's talk after this because I really want to be able to kind of help you and delve and see what you can do with your husband. And most importantly, see what you can do for yourself. Because this is about you and your good enoughness and the blame that you're choosing to hold over his choices, okay? So just love yourself and then reach out to me so we can talk, okay? All right, let's see. Adriana says, recently watched all your past posts. Yay! Thank you for the gratitude journal ideas. Expressing gratitude is important in our house, but I love the idea of being an easy daily action. Guess what everyone is getting for Christmas this year? Yay! Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much for that encouragement. I too appreciate the validation and being refueled by you guys. Yes. Give the gift of a gratitude journal. That is an awesome, awesome thing. It's a great, great practice for anybody to do. All right. Let's see. You're welcome, Kelly. Call me. Lisa says, I guess I just feel I have to be the one to ask for things to be done, and if I don't ask, it doesn't get done. They make a mess and walk away and not clean it up. I do bills, laundry, sports, drop-off, doctor's appointment. They are all in the background. It seems like what's for dinner. Okay. Lisa, you are amongst many, many, many. This is a common theme. This is something that I hear a lot from a lot of different people, obviously especially women because of the evolution of the female roles in our households and work and things like that. So when you say, I guess I just feel like I have to be the one to ask, like, it's okay to realize this isn't working for me anymore. It's okay because what's happening is you're doing, and then you're turning around and you're scowling at them, being resentful that they're not doing it too, which makes sense because when we give and give and give and we don't feel like someone or something is coming from behind us and refueling us, then you're just left disappointed and pissed off. So what you're feeling makes total sense. So what are you going to do differently? See, here's the kicker, right? Another thing I say constantly, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So we're not just going to continue to be upset about it, right? So if you feel like you have to be the one to ask to get things done, then what's stopping you from calling a family meeting, a loving, open, warm, intentional family meeting where you express first to your husband, then together, guys, I know that things have been this way up until now, but that doesn't work for me anymore. And I'm going to ask for what I need. What can you do, right? Because this is also a big part of this too, is about the expectation thing that I talk about a lot. This is not a family meeting where you go, here's the deal, this isn't working, and here are the new expectations, period, end of story. Okay? Because expectations are also something I ask you to get rid of, just like the word should in multitasking, because expectations do nothing but leave the expector frustrated and disappointed, and the expectee feeling like overpowered and forced. Okay? So a family meeting where you can really create a groundwork and a flow to, hey guys, this isn't working anymore. These are the things that I see around the house that I would love to have done. What do you guys think? What can you do to chip in, right? Get their buy-in. Create a new familial agreement. Maybe certain things that you look at that doesn't need to be done, they don't even realize, right? Like they don't even know it's important because it's in your mind and you're walking around with all these expectations of how they should be doing things, which leaves you exactly where you are, which is just like, ugh, can somebody do something around here, right? Give me a thumbs up or something so I know that you're with me. But so what I want you to do is, if you're open to it, have that conversation like, all right, it's okay. It is everyone who's listening. It's okay to have done something in your life a certain way up until right now and then change the rules. It's okay. That's how you grow and you shift. Don't be meek and small and afraid of asking for what you need. Why? So you can silently suffer so that you don't have to impose or affect or change anything or anyone around you? That's crap. Figure out what's not serving you. Figure out what's not working for you. And start to make those shifts and bring in your support system and let them know, because if you haven't had that come to Jesus conversation, right? That here is how I'm feeling. Oh my goodness, I used to do it this way, but I just can't do it this way anymore. You are worthy and you deserve it. So ask for it. Have the conversation. Change the way you've been doing it. Take ownership, because I'll tell you that too, right? My biggest belief is that if you don't take responsibility for where you are at every moment in your life, you will never be able to move through higher levels of yourself to get ultimately your highest level of joy and fulfillment, right? So Lisa, specifically right now, if you choose to not do something differently, then that is the prime example of, okay, well, then that's exactly why I'm sitting where I'm sitting, right? If you remain in the approach that you've used, then you will continue to experience the life that you are experiencing. But if you empower yourself to say, nope, love you guys, I know this has been this way for the past 5 years, 6 years, 9 years, and I know that mom's done this, this and that, and dad, but it's really not working. I want to talk to you about it. Here's what I'm feeling. Here's what I need. What can we do? All right? I cannot say this enough. Okay, let me just check our timing. We were going to have a dance party today, but we don't have time. All right, I'm going to take one more question because it's 1:56. And I also want to say that I posted on the Lit Factor some holiday specials that are really awesome because, 2017 is around the corner, okay? And you go into 2017 very resolved and very sure about the things that are going to be different. But if you are not different, nothing will be different. All right? I love you, I love you, I love you. If you want things to be different, you must be different. So I made some really great offers because I want to make it easy for you guys to say yes to yourself. So if you're looking for shifts in your life, in your relationship, in your parenting, in your career, in your business, in yourself, whatever it is, right? Do you need the pair of shoes? Do you need the handbag, right? Or do you want to invest in yourself? And it doesn't have to be me. I'm just speaking in general investment in oneself. Investing in your own growth and your own healing will be the best investment you can ever make in your life, period, end of story. Because when you are living at your highest and best self, everything else is just what it is. Because you become untouchable from the inside out. And that's glorious. All right, so Sandra says, my husband and I have completely deleted the words can't and should from our vocabulary. Yay, Sandra! It makes for much more positive communication. Thanks. We now watch your videos together when he gets home from work on Mondays, and your words have helped improve our relationship. So Sandra, thank you. Thank you. That touches me, obviously, so deeply. This is why I do this. Everything can be different in everybody's lives. Everything. If there is any little aspect in anybody's life that is not feeling prime, that is not feeling the way you want it to feel, you can change it. Everything can be different. Everything can be better. Sandra, thank you so much. That so filled my soul. So I am going to close on that note because it's 12:58. And thank you all for joining me. The replay will be there. Anyone whose questions I didn't get to, I always go back within the week and I scroll through and I take notes on what I didn't get to. So please rest assured I will get to it. Know that you can find me at tracy@thelitfactor.com. It's lit with 2 T's and it's Tracy with just TRACY. Also, go to the Lit Factor page on Facebook, check out the offers and the specials. And I am just so happy and so grateful and love you all. And thank you for spending time with me because it's super fun. And I will be back next Monday. So if I didn't get to you today, I'm sorry. I promise you, you will be on top of the list for next week. Come back and reach out if you need me. Mwah! Treat yourself well and go do something awesome with this beautiful week. Bye.